Hello, this is Victoria.
And this is Jonah. Welcome to Embodied Shift, where we explore real transformation within.
So, today's question is, why do you think people get stuck even when they know better?
So, Victoria, why do you think that is?
Such a question that a lot of people would really want to know.
Yeah,
So
it's a powerful one.
it is, yeah. So I think because knowing is not enough.
Mhm.
Again, I'm talking from a clinical hypnotherapist perspective because your subconscious mind, rather, no, your conscious mind might know better, but your subconscious mind running 90% of the show.
Mhm.
So basically, our conscious mind just 10% of it. So if there's a belief lodged in there from childhood or even a past life that says I am not safe, I'm not safe, I am not enough, I am not worthy. That's what's driving your behavior. People get stuck because they're trying to change from the conscious level,
Mhm.
but the real program is running underneath. And that's why hypnotherapy works. It worked for me and it worked for the clients that I've helped. We just go straight to where the belief lives and reframe those beliefs, the old beliefs, the limiting beliefs. And so that's why it's so fascinating for me. It's like doing the detective,
Mhm.
having that detective hat, getting to the root of all the issues, what really lies underneath. It's so fascinating. And I can't wait to hear from you, Jonah. Why do you think people get stuck
Yeah.
when they know better?
I call it programming, and you are very much correct. The subconscious really runs the show. And without self-awareness, we don't even know that it's running the show. And without that honest conversation with yourself and being aware, programming is so deep. Programming is not just from this lifetime, it can come from other lifetimes as well. And that programming it has everything. You're programmed to, that you're not lovable, that you have limitations, that the world is scary. Money doesn't come from trees. There's so much programming that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And so that's how, you know, there's actually a bit of beauty um, in those programming. And that's what I call the humanness. And I believe our journey is to be aware of those so we can have an understanding on how life is difficult, but then we can transform and we could shift into the better versions of ourselves. And so, again, going back to the question of why people get stuck, even when they know better, I'm going to relate it to my experience. And this is actually an experience that I had with you. Remember that time when we were doing our mastermind and I was going through something where my fur baby, Bella, transitioned from bone cancer. It was definitely a difficult time for me, and I've done a lot of work. But our journey, the work doesn't stop, and we just get better. And when you lose someone that you love so much, and you know, Rebecca, my fur babies are like my life, my babies,
Yeah.
my everything. And so when she transitioned, and I was curious about hypnotherapy because I've never had one. And I, was wondering if it was going to be a shortcut
Mm.
to my subconscious, if there's a shortcut. And I was just curious about it. And I asked you for a session. And when we discussed it as coaches, and I was so amazed when you told me what I needed was a past life regression from the questionnaire that you've given me. um,
Mm.
because it's in a way, it's not definitely connected because at that point I was in a lot of pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why would that connect to my past life? But of course, you were able to read between the lines of what I was really needing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I really believe in the energy work and embodying what energy is about because I always know that I'm always guided to the right people, to the right situations where I'm needing help. And I did the past life regression with you, and I know we talked about the questions and how it's going to be like,
Mm-hmm.
and and you took me to places that I remembered who I was in the past. And so I remembered my power. And what's really healing with that is also in that session, I saw my ancestors, I saw Bella, I saw she was happy. And most importantly, I saw that there's no separation from that life to this life. And we could probably even call it a timeline.
Mm.
That she is as present with me energetically right here, right now, while she's over there. Life is not perfect. And even with a session like that, it's so powerful, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm done with crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us, um, we feel very stuck because we don't want to feel the pain or we're not being honest. Like we think that there's something wrong with us if we're feeling pain.
Mm.
And
Mm.
we're sometimes we also avoid that pain. That's why we want to get stuck because sometimes it's easier dealing with that pain.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get unstuck if you don't remember your your power. And so we go through this motion of just living our lives without wanting to be honest, without wanting to be aware, without wanting to know what our subconscious is telling us, without really knowing what our limiting beliefs are. And so we'd rather get stuck. And I think, yeah, and I think it's because we don't want to just let go of the pain. And it's also
Mm.
very scary to, start something new because again, it's the unknown. So
So
there's,
interesting.
yeah, right?
Yeah, so interesting you mentioned about the pain. Um, I'm gonna share again the session that I had this morning because it was fresh for me.
Mhm.
Because she's when you said some people they don't want to feel, you don't want to feel pain or sadness, whatever it might be. But then you mentioned also about humanness. It's okay, right? It's okay to feel those feelings because we're
Mhm.
human. And for people who are afraid or scared of feeling those feelings, they use drugs, alcohol,
Mhm.
cigarettes,
Yeah.
right? Because they think the pain, it's taking away the pain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's
And
numbing.
it's numbing the
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, really, right? Because, yeah, for the time being, while they're doing it, perhaps, but then when they stop, when they're not doing whatever it is, drinking, drugs, or smoking, vaping, whatever it may be, um, then they still have those pain. They still have those
Mm-hmm.
same feelings, right? So when I think, I just want to add to what you were saying, that it's okay. Feel those emotions, feel those feelings. It's okay. And it's sometimes, like you said, there's beauty in it because we're human after all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking at being stuck, like we punish ourselves so much because, you know, like for myself, I would always want to say, I want to do more coaching because that's my mission, that's my life, right? But at the moment, I'm also in charge of, like the rental business or other businesses. There's so much is going on in my life. And that is so overwhelming, and you feel very, very stuck. But what's really keeping me from being stuck is my commitment and my honesty to myself. So I was thinking about this. I don't know if I've shared this with you. There's so many ways to delegate other things, and I've been doing that. I've been trying to find the right partners for my cleaners, trying to get more time to do what I love. And sometimes it doesn't go the way that I would want it to be. And so I always, because there's always the work of energy, like the law of energy.
Mm,
So for me, it's important that I work knowing what my energy is just so I know if I'm in alignment or not. Like when I was hiring the cleaners to put more time for the things that I love to do, if I'm being honest to myself, my energy was coming from just wanting it so much, that I was willing
mm,
to not to overpay a bit much, just because I've loved this so much. But if you would sense like my energy, it's still coming from that energy of I don't have this.
mm,
So I don't have this time that I would love to have for coaching so much more people because I want it to be, my number one, the number one thing that I do because I know in my core that it's my mission, right? But the thing that is really keeping me stuck from still having to, you know, have more time for the other businesses is because I haven't really, to be honest, I don't think I've really, really surrendered fully
mm,
on my energy and my energy of wanting what I love the most. I haven't really surrendered it to the higher power. And subconsciously, I'm thinking I still probably have doubts,
mm-hmm,
right? That I'm thinking, and I've been processing this and talking to myself because it's a part of my process to talk to myself and be honest with myself. And sometimes I do need coaches like Rebecca to help me get through it. Sometimes I do have my guides, which I'm very, very fortunate. But as you know, even with your guides, it is your own free will, it's your own readiness. So I get great guidance, but the decision's still on me.
Mm,
So so I think when we fully surrender and when we remember that there is something greater than us and we can trust that this is a friendly universe. We can trust that the support that we need to be able to, live the life that we love, for whatever our calling is. I think the final thing that I need to do to get very unstuck is to believe in the greater power, is to believe in the higher version of myself to show up. Because I'm being stuck because I still find the unknown scary.
mm,
And I still find that, the other businesses, if it are okay, like, why do I want to do something different, right? Why is it so hard to leave something, or just, I can easily just, make it better, or it's been good for me, right? And why do I still want something to add in my life that's already very much hands on? Like, I already have a lot in my plate. Why am I adding something else?
mm-hmm,
And this something else that I'm adding, like, why can't I just, like, just surrender fully and just go for this one thing that I really love, which is my mission, right? And so there it is. So I just realized that I wasn't really ready for that yet, to be
mm-hmm,
fully committed to my mission. And I was stuck for, you know, and well, I wouldn't say I'm really that stuck anymore, because we're doing this now and I'm doing so much more, and I've stepped
mm-hmm.
back with the
Yeah.
other businesses. Um, yeah, because there was fear with uncertainty, because it's really something new, and I haven't really fully surrendered with, I know what my mission is, but I haven't really fully surrendered to it.
So, for our viewers and listeners, what do you think? What one thing you could share, just one thing,
Mhm.
to for them to start that to get unstuck?
It's because everybody's so unique,
Mm-hmm,
but I think the key would be just a knowing, just a deep knowing that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you know, whatever that mission is, you will get there in the divine timing, in just the right timing. I know that's a longer answer, but I really believe that once you know in your heart that
mm-hmm,
something is gonna happen and something is beautiful, like miracles do happen, something is waiting for you out there, just that knowing and really just feeling that and trusting that
mm-hmm.
will help with the energy of being stuck.
I love that.
Yeah, so Rebecca, what about you? Like, because that was a very, very nice question. What would be the one or two things to help people to get unstuck?
For me, a question that I would have them ask themselves or themselves. Just ask yourself, whatever it is, right? It could be having the anxiety, depression, addiction, whatever it is, challenges that they're going through. Just ask themselves, what is it what is this giving me right now?
Mm-hmm.
And by asking that question, do I really need this? Is it really helping me?
Mm-hmm.
And going to even deeper, right? Really just close their eyes and release the question to the subconscious mind, and
Mhm.
the subconscious mind will give them the answer.
Definitely. As you know, as you guys will probably hear, that power is within. It's definitely another thing is to really, when you're stuck, sometimes we're looking for answers all over.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're looking for, answers to just for for something to appear. But what is required is really silence.
Yeah,
That silence and just a belief and knowing that whatever you need is within. Like the answer is truly within.
I totally agree with that statement. So true.
Everybody's unique. The answer is within. And of course, you could seek help, but the first thing really comes from you. The decision comes from you. um Everything starts within you. The answers are within you. So hopefully this talk has helped understand a few things, and we're so happy that you guys have spent your time with us, and we're so grateful for that. And anything else, Rebecca, that you might think of, or do you think this is a right time for us to
Yeah,
end, or is there
yeah,
something?
absolutely. So I think if you guys have questions or if we want to explore more about this topic, we can definitely do that for our next video, our next meeting. And so yeah, I think that's all I could say for now.
Yeah, definitely, guys. If there's anything that you guys are curious about, any topics that you want us to discuss, please do leave us comment. We would greatly appreciate that. And again, we thank you for being with us. And until next time,
Let's keep shifting together.
okay, you guys take care.